How do you stay inspired during these times? What inspires you to be creative? My next guest is a director and writer, and we want to ask her how she's been inspired during this time, during this pandemic, and out throughout her career. Please welcome Ashley Elizabeth Green to OneMicNite podcast. Welcome, Ashley. I'm so happy to have you here. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm good. I'm really good. I'm really good.
I have questions.
Yes, so, I'm ready to answer.
The first one is, who is Ashley Elizabeth Green?
Oh my God. To make that really easy and simplicity, Ashley Green is from Baltimore, Maryland. She's feisty, she's confident, a visionary, Pisces all day.
Okay.
Screenwriter, director. She's your best friend. I'm all those beautiful things, fiery, firecracker, no filter, all those things, I would say. It's me.
Okay. Baltimore born, you said, right?
Yes, Baltimore, Maryland, born and raised.
How was that for you? How was that growing up in Baltimore?
It's beautiful. Baltimore is a beautiful place. It's not, it's called Baltimore, it's a city, but the way how Baltimore is, it isn't really a city because the arts is not a big deal in Baltimore like it is in New York City. But growing up there, it's much slower and it was nice. It was beautiful. I come from a two-parent home. My parents have been married over 40 years. So I'm a middle child. So it was nice. It's nice, but it's definitely slower and different. And the hustle is really different. It's more about education and blue collar work than it is about the arts. Because when I told my parents I was going to be full-time in art, they were like, what? You know.
What did they have dreams of you doing? Or what were they pushing you towards?
Well, ever since I was like 8 o'clock. It's so early. Ever since I was like 8, my dad wanted me to be a lawyer and then become a judge. And I was going to school for law. I was going to major in law, but I decided to major in English and to get ready to do law school. But I just discovered, ever since I was little, I was always writing stories just to myself, like just as a little kid, because I had such an imagination. And then I just got caught up in stories and I never thought about doing anything in the arts. But ever since I was in English literature, I was always I always read a lot. And so that's just when it became like, started getting disinterested in like trying to be a lawyer. And then, you know how you start getting disinterested in like your parents, different. Yeah.
Was that the turning point for you when you were in the English literature? Was there a certain teacher or something that sparked, the writing or the sensation of the love and the passion for it? Or did you even know?
No, actually. I did have teachers, 2 teachers I definitely adore. Professor McKishwa, he's at Bowie State University, and Dr. Shea at Bowie State University. And they always told me I should get into the arts. But at that time, I was like, no, that's not me. And I didn't know what I wanted to do,
Right.
I actually didn't get the aha moment until after my divorce at the age of like 29. And when I moved to New York, it's when I actually was like, I'm going to do acting. Yeah.
Okay. So that was kind of the catalyst for it all.
Yeah, that was catalyst.
You stripped it off and you were just like, let me start a new me and do what I want to do.
Exactly, a new me. Like about time that happened, it's like when you go through something like that traumatic, you're like, there's nothing else that can go wrong in your life. You might as well just take a chance on what you're trying. Whatever passion you think, you might as well just take a chance.
Here's the thing: not many people get to that point. What was it for you that just made you say, "Fuck it all. Let me just do it"? A lot of people never get to that point. There's a fear factor that goes along with it.
That is true. I think what got to me that point, I think I've always heard the whisper of like God, but I think what got me to that point was like, I never saw myself divorcing. And I was just like, you're getting a divorce, you don't want to live in Baltimore. Like like there was like an aha moment of like, what do you want to do? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want to do? And that's when I believe in the power of prayer, and I'm such a prayer warrior in my own life. I just started being like, what do you want to do, Ash? And I just started writing it down. And I put LA or New York. Wherever apartment I get, I'm going to move to.
Boom. I love that.
It was just
I love it.
That.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's incredible, because like I said, a lot of people don't reach that point. You in the back of your mind, you know what you want to do, but the fear factor is too much. People have responsibilities or whatever, but you never reach that point. That's a good place to be in.
Yeah, it is. I think traumatic situations, I think if you really listen, you'll understand like, oh, like I think traumatic situations lets you hear like the whispers of God are always happening around us, right?
Yes.
I think if you stay in tune and you just really listen, because I remember I was crying and sobbing, with like, oh my God, my life is terrible, I'm getting divorced, and then that's just why I heard God was like, what do you want to do? Stop crying, what do you want to do? But it wasn't like a mean, what do you want to do? It was one of those things like, what do you want to do?
Right.
And that's when I was just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. And I just made a decision, you know?
And how do you feel about New York? What's the life been like here for you in New York?
New York is,
we either love it or we hate it, both at the same time. We love it and we hate it.
Yo, you know, it's so funny.
Right?
I think like right now, it's been too many snow days for us, so we hate it. It's New Yorkers. I noticed this. New Yorkers, like, I think I've become kind of like a New Yorker. We're such extroverted people. And I think that's the main thing about us. Like, we do not like being inside. We love conjugating, meeting people, connecting, hustling.
That's why we move here. We move here for that.
Exactly.
And I think that's why everybody's getting so rambunctious right now, because
yes.
It's a nightlife. It's, going out to theater, going out to dinner, going out to the club, going out, meeting people in social places, having some drinks. You know what I mean? So everybody's going crazy right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. How are you dealing with the snow and everything?
I'm fine. I mean, you have to find a sort of a peace in yourself. There are things that come out of it, and that's what I was going to ask you. What have you been doing during this time? This podcast came out of this whole pandemic.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah. I had a brand called OneMicNite, where we had a live series, excuse me, an open mic for 14 years. Everything's shut down now. How do you parlay that into something else, but continue to be an artist, a content creator, and inspiring people, motivating people? So this came out of that.
Oh, wow.
This came out of that.
I love that.
Right?
I love it.
So we're in a virtual world now. So I can now, you're always so busy in New York. You're always busy in New York. But you can now tap in to see your friends perform. I've seen all my friends perform now because they're doing it virtually.
Yeah.
It's been the best of times and the worst of times for me.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
What about you?
I think for me, it's been a hidden blessing.
Yes.
It's been really a hidden blessing where whatever I'm trying to do, I have honed in so much. Like, I'm a screenwriter, so I've been definitely writing those films that I've been in my mind for a minute.
Yes.
Putting myself more on deadlines. Right. It's just been like knocking it out, just knocking it out. So it's really been a blessing. And also reconnecting with people,
right.
Reconnecting with people in a matter of like the friends that I don't talk to as much. We talk almost every day.
Yeah.
And then and I also noticed that like, because everything's virtually, like you have to be on social media, you have to connect in a different way.
You do.
You do. It makes you think out of the box of how to earn money, how to do things. So it's been, I'm gonna be honest, it's been a really a hidden blessing for me.
I could not agree with you more. Let me tell you, this is what's happening too. Like we are now, like, because of the events that happened last summer. Let's talk about the politics and the George Floyd, and
Okay.
it's always a hot topic to talk about. So I think the movement for people of color has become, equality, unity, wealth, empowerment, diversity. Like, this whole thing has just snowballed into something. So where are we now? You know what I mean? Like, my mission now is to increase financial wealth for myself. So what are you going to do? You become an entrepreneur. How are you going to do that? You take what you have, you take your knowledge, you take your skills, and you parlay that into something, that's marketable. You learn about the stock market, in the stocks. You know what I mean? Like, we have to learn those things.
I agree. I totally agree.
We have to share them with each other. If I have knowledge, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
It's not crabs in a barrel. We have to do all this together.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Totally. It's one of those things where I've noticed that even when the Black Lives Movement protest was happening, and it was very evident in Harlem, because I live in Harlem, and it made me just really realize, like, it might not be safe to protest for me. For me, I didn't feel safe, for me.
Right.
But I told myself I can do whatever I can and push, and also start where you are right now. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Because I feel like what people are forgetting is that at the end of the day, especially for Black folks, we might not be able, like, let's just say, right, the table's not for us. But also, even if you don't have the tools to build the table, start where you are.
Start where you are. Absolutely.
Show up for yourself in
Yes.
so many ways, Start showing up for yourself. And I think that's the bigger idea of our existence, that we just need to start showing up for ourselves.
Right. I think you said it too. The protesting and things, it's not for me. I'm a man of a certain age. The younger kids do that. They go out and they can do the physical thing, and they are out, protesting and marching. I do what I can. I'm behind the computer. I'm donating. I'm, pushing other people forward.
Yeah.
I'm, you know what I mean? Like, you do what you can to support the movement. We have to.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I believe, like, everybody has their part in this movement.
Here's the beautiful thing too, and I don't mean to cut you off, but because of this pandemic, it wasn't just the Black and brown people joining in, right?
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's the
that
beautiful
was
thing.
beautiful. It was nice that people, especially people who were not Black and brown, they started waking up.
Absolutely.
And your friends who you be in plays with, or you're dating, or whoever, everyone's like, are you with me or you not? It really starts making people be like, are you woke or you're not? Because you can get coffee, but what are you trying to do with me in this place that is happening to my people?
Right. If you're my friend, if you're my partner, if you're my lover, my wife, my husband, whatever you are, you got to make some noise too.
Yeah.
You got to make some noise too.
And that's how I believe, like, you can do that right where you are. Like, if you're in an interracial relationship, if you're in a family, let's just say the husband is white or whatever, whoever is giving y'all the hardest time, and you don't correct them when they make racial slurs or racial innuendos or something like that, then now's the time to be like, no, that's not fine.
Right.
That's not cool. Those are the little things that is a big thing in hindsight, where you can correct people and you can do that right where you are.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because those things count.
They do count. And the thing too is, we're not looking for, it's not, this goes for not just racial, it goes for equality across the board. We're not looking for tolerance. We're looking for acceptance, understanding. You know what I mean? Like, those are the key words. It's not like, I'm going to tolerate this person. No, understand where this person's coming from. You got to have a certain amount of empathy. You know, and see someone else's perspective to know what's happening.
Yes. Yeah, I think this past summer really made everybody just look at a deeper level of how they actively listen.
Yes.
When it comes to people and cultures. But also, like, what are you doing in this life?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are you doing to contribute? Are you contributing trauma, or are you helping to negate that?
Right.
Like, what are you doing? You know, so I think we all took a deeper level of like, even for me, I was just like, what am I doing am I creating trauma for somebody, or am I bringing joy, or if I'm helping the situation, you know?
Right. And so how did that manifest for you in terms of, you know, how did you reach in? What was the process for you? What'd you do?
I would say, what really helped me a lot was I have a lot of guy best friends, and I just started celebrating them more. You know, I really started thinking about like, they're always thinking about me. They're always taking care of me. The way they even treat the women that they're dating, they're always treating them with being special. I started really honing in on like, the guy friends that I have, they have such a vulnerability that is so hard in this world they're not able to show. And I just started looking at them in a different way of like, wow, like that takes bravery for you to be vulnerable and also be in this world, and you have to be tough.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
so I just started like praising them more and speaking more life into them, I would say.
That's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that. How have you done it for yourself? Do you practice religion? You mentioned this before, religion, spirituality. Has that been something that's come out even more now? You know what I mean? I can say that it has for me, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I will say I'm not religious at all. I'm not Christian or anything. I'm very spiritual. I do my devotions. I do my journal taking. I do prayers. But I would say I have gotten deeper with my prayers and my journaling. So, because I believe that there's a lot of things about me that was like wounded, and I've been doing definitely a lot of self-healing. So I would say my prayers have gotten like way deeper. Yeah.
It's definitely important. The self-healing, you have to do the self-healing, or else you're not going to move forward. You won't
You're
move
not going to move forward. And and then one thing I was talking to someone, like, I noticed that when you do a lot of self-healing, a lot of the times where you think you need to go in life, you know how like you think you're having roadblocks in your career, really has to do with like the trauma that you're not even dealing with, and you have to deal with that. That could be your life.
Facts.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I see how it manifests. You know, I came from a broken home, you know, and I can see how it manifested. And until, you know, my mother became a single parent, she moved forward. She put herself back through school, grad school, became valedictorian, scholarships, you know what I mean? Like, she excelled. Educator, education administration, you know, and those kind of things. And I'm lucky to come from a home like that, where she always pushed me forward as a Black man, you know, and taught me to be sensitive, made me do community service, made me do all those things so that I can have that feeling for other people and awareness of other people too.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I feel you. And I love that, like, because that's the one downfall I will say about me. Coming from a 2-parent home, my parents are great people. I love my mom and dad, but they never encouraged me they never saw my gifts. You know, sometimes we don't see our parents' gifts. I mean, we don't see our children's gifts. And it's always dreams deferred. The things that they didn't do, they want their kids to do.
Right.
So those are the things that, like, I pray that I will break that generational curse with my own children, you know? So I will see their, like, I will see their gifts and be like, and help them maneuver into their gifts.
Right. Well, they're also from a different generation. You're right. And, you know, the way they grew up was, listen, you gotta be a teacher, you gotta be a lawyer, you gotta be a doctor to make it in this world. You know, where we are here and we think maybe an artist, maybe, you know, be who you want to do. You notice your child's talent and you push them towards that. You know, it's a little bit different from the way. That
is true. I was that. That is so true. Yeah. That is true. It would just be nice if we get a little bit more support from our family.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Of course. I mean, I started out pre-med, but my mother, I started out I was an actor throughout my life, but I started out pre-med, and then I got to college, I was like, no, I want to be an actor. I want to continue acting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
My mother, I called her up on the phone. I was like, Mom, can I tell you something? And she was like, what, baby? I said, I'm not going to be pre-med anymore. I'm going to be an actor. She said, okay.
Really?
I kid you not.
Oh.
Kid you not. Yeah.
My parents would have died. They would have died. That's a good mommy.
That's a good mom, right?
Good supportive mommy.
That's right. What inspires you as a writer, as a director, as an artist? What and who? Because we're at a powerful time right now where women are coming to the forefront and doing some amazing things, or being noticed for doing some amazing things. Let me rephrase that.
I would say what inspires me the most. Oh my gosh, I'm such a daydreamer. Like I have all these visions all the time. I'm such a daydreamer. I would say what inspires me most is daydreaming. It's really daydreaming. My mind is like, it just goes to so many places, and
That's
I just
beautiful.
Yeah.
How do you grasp those dreams, and how do you make them? How do you solidify them?
I would say now I'm better at taking one project at a time. And that's the one, like I was saying, the hidden blessings with COVID is that at the end of the day, you get to sit with your projects. You get to sit and take the time of like trying to figure out the blueprint on how to execute your plan, your project. So I would say I'll daydream it, I'll write it down, and then I'll start doing the history, especially if we're talking about screenwriting, and I'll look at the research of what I'm trying to do, and then I just be like, and I write. I first write by hand when I'm writing things, and then when I'm ready to type, that's when I get my computer out and I'm ready to like rock and roll.
I like that.
Yeah.
Old school way, but the good way.
Yeah, because I'm a big believer in. I don't believe in writer's block. I don't believe in writer's block at all. Well, let me say, I don't believe in writer's block for me. Writer's block does not exist in my life because one of the things about me is if you do enough research and you know your characters inside and out, there's nothing they can say, or if you have your scene set up and things like that, there's no way you can have writer's block because you've done the work. So by the time I sit in my computer, I am ready to be like a little mouse, you know what I mean? So I'm just ready to rock.
I like that. You have anything that you have tucked away or that you're proud of already? You're still working in a work in progress on some things?
I'm working on a new project right now, but I have finished a lot of scripts that I'm really proud of. I'm really a type of person. I try to test myself. Like once I do the research, I'll be like, finish the script, finish a feature in like 1 week, 7 days. Yeah, so I'm one of those people, like I always try to like test myself. But I would say there's one script that I'm working on right now, and it's such a really big budget, and I can't wait till one day like break that bad boy open and just get it done. Like you be hearing about Ashley Green, $50 million.
Right. You ever think about shooting a little trailer just for your own purposes, or maybe just shop it around a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. I think there's a time I will be able to shop it. Right now, it's not even written. It's just going through a phase of research right now.
Gotcha.
And don't get me wrong, because I daydream a lot, there's certain scenes that I already see, so I write down those scenes so I don't forget them. But it's nowhere near like going to the computer to be written. It's not near there yet.
Gotcha.
I thought it was at first, but it's not. I need like at least 1 more month, and then I'll be ready to be.
You still got to turn it around in your head like butter.
Yeah,
I got you.
I believe sometimes things have to, like like even with acting.
Yeah.
When the character sinks in, you become the character, and I think that's the same thing with the screenwriting. Is that the characters have to sit with me. I need to know everything about them, so I just let it. I think the more it sits with you, the more you're not second guessing yourself on where you're trying to take the character. You know what I mean? We're all on the same page, because even though I'm the narrator and everybody's like my puppet, I really believe that if I don't know the character, they can do things where I'd be like, in my imagination, and be like, oh, I saw them doing that. oh, I saw them doing that. But it's like, no, sometimes if you really know the character, there's certain things that the character wouldn't do at all, you know? So I'm a real believer in like, just letting it sit with you a little bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about your Instagram show, which I got turned on to. Now it's called, yeah. Talk to me about that. What's it called again? Because I'm tipsy?
It's called Tipsy Talk.
Tipsy Talk.
Yes, Tipsy Talks, yes.
Now you do it with Yolanda, right?
Yes, Yolanda has, yes.
Talk to us about that. Let me know what's going on with that.
Right now we're on hiatus because we're trying to rebrand it. So we're just rebranding it and just trying to get the merch out there. Just trying to do things to just rebrand it so we can do what you're doing, like a podcast. Put it on Spotify, you know, so you don't have to be on Instagram to see it. Like you can see it in other ways. So we're just in the phase of like rebranding for 2021. So hopefully you see us soon. You know,
I'm sure we will. What do you guys talk about? And I know this already, but tell us what you talk about?
Oh, okay.
It's unfiltered. It's unedited. It's like it's live.
It is live. So Tipsy Talks is basically what we used to do. Right, we're drink, but both of us are kind of like lightweight, so we started like, okay, drink less. But Tipsy Talks, if everybody tunes in and follow our page at Tipsy Talks, basically it's just two Black women just getting real. We bring up subjects about love, relationships, on how to move and navigate this world. But it's all types of like crazy. It's basically what Black women talk about between Black women.
Right.
And it's also about that, it's like being that fly on the wall where you wonder what women are speaking about and thinking about.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why I had to sneak up on in there and listen. You get some juicy info in there. You know what I mean? And that's what I like about it.
Yeah, it is. It's very juicy, and I love that a lot of people are missing Tipsy Talks. I can't wait to be back on it either. But it's definitely like that homegirl conversation, and there is no filter. And I think the one thing I do love about our fans who come on there to make comments, there is no right or wrong on how you navigate life.
Right.
It's all up to you and what you want to do. Because you know how some people be like, well, you have to do it. No. Whatever you do,
right,
as long as you don't hurt yourself.
Exactly.
We're not about hurting yourself. We're just talking about being healthy, but whatever works for you in this life, it's what you need to do. And that's okay. Because how Yolanda navigates as a woman is different than how I navigate as a woman. And we talk about those things in Tipsy Talks on how we navigate this world as women.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
you took the words right out of my mouth. Yep. Two different perspectives from you two. And there is no right or wrong.
There is right or wrong.
But there's a commonality that everybody can relate to, or maybe they have a point of view too.
Exactly.
That's
because because when women get together, the one thing we all have in common sometimes, single women, is like either we want a husband or we don't want a husband, or we're talking about career, or we're like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many things that we're even talking about. And I think the one thing that I think what makes Tipsy Talks a really great podcast is because we listen to each other, and we really respect each other's life and how we navigate. You know, I'm older than Yo-Yo, so how I navigate life is different than how she navigates. You know what I mean? So I think that's what makes it such a brilliant conversation. And also, like you said, there's no filter. So we have that confidence of like, I don't care what you think about what I'm saying, because what I say is what I'm saying, and it doesn't matter what you think because I know who I am. Yeah.
Love it. I was tipsying through that.
I love that
hashtag. IG trying to find out some info.
Yes.
Lastly, what are you listening to right now? What are you listening to music?
Oh my God. You caught me at such a great time. I'm listening to nothing but jazz right now. I went back to old school Sarah Vaughan, Duke Ellington, John Coltrane, Miles Davis. I'm really like honing on that. I made like a little playlist for myself, so that's what I'm listening to right now.
I love it. And that's where it should be. That's exactly where it should be.
Yeah, it always goes back to jazz.
It
No
sure
matter
does.
what you listen to, it always goes back to jazz.
It sure does.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley Green, I want to thank you for your time and thank you for coming on OneMicNite podcast. Please tell everybody how we can get in touch with you, how we can find you, how we can be tipsy, how we can do all that stuff.
Oh my gosh. So follow Tipsy Talks on Instagram. And follow me at Ashley Elizabeth Green. Yeah.
Are you on Twitter also or no?
I'm not on Twitter. I only like Instagram. So you can follow me on Facebook, but I will not know because I just have the page and I don't pay attention.
That's right. Do one and do it well.
And also follow my production company, Man Plans, God Laughs, Inc.
You want to spell it out?
It's just Man Plans, God Laughs, Inc.
There you go, on Instagram.
Y'all don't get that, I can't help y'all.
Can't help you, she can't help you. Well, thank you once again for coming on the podcast. This is OneMicNite podcast. Please, everybody, make sure you follow Ashley Green on Tipsy
Talk.
Because of Tipsy Talk, and Man Plan God's
God Laughs, Inc.
Last Inc.
And follow me at Ashley Elizabeth Green.
There you go. And you can follow us at OneMicNite. OneMicNite is spelled OneMicNite. You can also follow me at MarcosLuis, MarcosLuis. Please make sure you share these episodes. We got some interesting people here who are inspiring. Thank you all who have shared all these episodes already. You can also watch us on YouTube. Go to the OneMicNite page on YouTube. Click the bell up above. Make sure you don't miss any of these episodes. I want to thank you guys all for joining me on this podcast episode. I'm MarcosLuis. See you next time.